While he's setting stuff up, I'm going to say that I decided to wear circles that other people gave me. Because these are a Christmas gift from my grandmother, and this is my dad's shirt, and this is my sister's earrings, or a bracelet, and my sister's necklace, and my mom's ring, so I started to go crazy with them, creating these circles. So I was just going to do that. Sorry, I was just all about circles right now. And also, if anyone had noticed, every time I come up here, I'm usually bringing a folder, and it's got this kind of writing on it with my name or with the picture drawing on me on it. John came up with the word pheromemes because like pheromones meant for words, so maybe you're attracted to my words because I was going to do a book about it, and this month marks the release of 2 of them in the pheromemes book series. First one is just of 2015 to 2017 poems, and a lot of new ones I've like read here from suggestions of what to read for Poetry Plus or Poetry Aloud. But I also did one of things that I had done at shows, and those show poems. And so I thought that I would share with you poems from this show poems book. And I think that might all, in fact, somehow relate. And that was my newspaper. So might all somehow relate to One World, Different Viewpoints. I hope we will see. These first 2 I'm going to do are from the last feature that I just did, if anybody happened to hear them or not. This is called Protecting the Peace Can Put You in Prison. The first Nobel Prize, Peace Prize, there it is, was granted in 1901. The first Nobel Peace Laureate to die in prison was Karl von Ossietzky, detained by Nazi Germany. He died in prison in 1938. But there's a new death, do not fret, because it seems that peace can be squashed in any millennia. Do you remember the Tiananmen Square riots back in 1989, or at least that iconic photo of a student in front of a tank? Well, the students didn't battle the Chinese government on their own and win. They had help from Liu Xiaobo, a man for peace, and he was revered for his work. But the Chinese government stopped him in 2008 because he was framing and drafting a manifesto promoting peaceful political change. And for this, the Chinese government imprisoned him for subversion. Yes, for subversion. This man was sentenced to 11 years in prison. And it was while in prison he was granted the Nobel Peace Prize. During the Oslo Awards ceremony, they left an empty chair for the imprisoned man of honor. And now the Chinese government bears responsibility, more than for imprisoning a Nobel Peace Laureate who only promoted peaceful politics, but for failure to properly diagnose and treat his ailments, because on July 13th, the imprisoned Peace Prize winner died in a detention of liver cancer at age 61. And sure, we can look around the room and think that we are nice to other people, and that other people, we respect other people. And we may think when we look around the room that other people feel the same way toward us. Because when you stay in your bubble, it's wonderful. Just surround yourself with people that are like you, who think like you, who cushion you from anyone who may think differently. Because when you live in that bubble, everything seems fine. But it's only when we see those who choose to fight, those who are trounced upon and downtrodden, only because they support a peaceful coexistence, that's when staying in your supporters is seldom the solution. Peace with the ones you choose to know is one thing. Peace with a mortal enemy is another, when others decide that you are at fault for some unknown reason. So maybe the key to promoting peace is not to share our ideas with those like-minded folks that you're near, but to find the people least like you, religiously, racially, politically, and just extend your hand in peace, and then see who will take your hand. This is another one. I guess this also talks about different world points because they can be between a father and a daughter. This one from that same show is called Keeping the Peace and Coming to Peace. The father was a stern man. Wait, that's not a nice thing to say, but these are the memories of a little girl afraid to confront the boisterous, booming voice behind a judgmental man. So she would avoid him, just in an effort to keep the peace. And the last time she saw her father alive, she was still trying to keep the peace when he yelled at both her and the medical technicians for the doctor's office for tests. But even she noticed that he then apologized repeatedly to her for it. And afterward, this lifetime concrete construction company owner saw a TV show on buildings around the world that were engineering feats. And she sat with him, and she recognized one high-rise, and she said, "I photographed that." And he seemed a bit concerned because these were buildings in Shanghai, China. So the father kept watching, and the daughter found an art book she had given him of her photos, and she walked back in, holding the book that he never opened, to the building in question, and she handed in the book and said, "See?" before she walked back to her chair to watch the show of buildings around the world. The father flipped through the pages more and more slowly, looked at images from around the world and portraits of his daughter, then her models. "I was just looking to see if I recognized anyone," he said, at the portraits of people before he said to her, "You know, you're very good at this. You're very creative." And with this, he stopped talking, and the daughter only said, "Thank you," before she took the book back and put it on the shelf. The book that she got back weeks after he died. Looking back, all the daughter could think was that this might have been the father's only way to come to peace with their lifetime of subliminal tension, that this last night together may have been his only chance to connect with his youngest daughter in his only way to come to peace. It's earlier in the book. This one is called Questioning Creativity Through the Cosmos. When I think of the future, I think astronomy, space, the final frontier. And you better believe that outer space is so poetic. It's all about the arts. And NASA even had an artist in residence who learned that astronomers estimate the moon's orbit every year pulls the moon farther and farther away from the Earth. So, if you remember the moon looking so big when you were young, well, you may have been right. Because if I think about it, maybe I'm not a writer, maybe I'm not an artist, maybe I'm an observer, like an astronomer learning about what makes everything, everything. Because molecule by molecule, we originate from stardust, and that is what makes us all linked together. And like all stargazers who love astronomers, I assume I'll never actually get into outer space. But then it occurred to me, I have. You ever talk on the radio or ever appear on TV? Because all of those signals are actually shot out into space, that they continue on past Earth towards the ends of the universe. I wonder what other stars have seen or heard my poetry by now. And I wonder if there's anything out there that can decode our signals and understand what we say. So I keep looking at these images from Hubble, these mind-boggling colors from galaxies and nebulas. But NASA's artist in residence talked about how these telescope photos, because, well, the images, they actually come in and they're completely digital, a series of ones, a series of zeros, and there's no color at all. Astronauts describe the cosmos as a vast, black void, so scientists guess from the data how outer space should look. So they guess from radiation data, when red is hot and blue is cold, to make the images look their best. These outer space images look so awesome and they're so beautiful, but now they're literally an art form. The final frontier could be creative. perspective. Look at the evidence. I mean, imaging and astronomy, it's actually existential arts. Thank you.
Yeah.